What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the number one podcast in the world, the P&N Podcast. That's right, you heard it here. We're officially number one on YouTube and all streaming services worldwide. If you haven't heard by now, you're probably living under a rock. Anyway, Edward Neiman alongside myself, Joey Prati, and we're better than ever. It's fucking hot outside right now.
Yeah,
Sorry for the F-bomb early in the episode, but just had to get it out. Because we got the return of the Fighters Corner this week. Let's clap it up.
yeah.
Give it a round of applause.
Finally, about time, about time.
The Fighters Corner returns, and not only is that returning, but our top fives are returning. I know last year we did like Halloween candy and maybe like something else. I think it might have been like holidays or
Yeah,
something like that. But that'll be in the end of the episode. So we'll save the best segment for last, basically, where you get to kind of really know us and everything. Basically, what it is we're gonna draft a starting five of that specific topic. And basically, I just school Edward in this every time we do it.
for sure, for
So
sure. Yeah,
that's how that works. So, like we said, got the Fighters Corner, and it's also the best time of the year. I know I've said that a lot, but it's Masters Week. Can't really top that at all after coming off the national championship last night, which we probably won't talk about because talk about it. Then we got MLB and then the Hoops Bus, and then like I said, one with the top five. But anyway, why not kick it off with the Fighters Corner? We got the box. All he does is boxing, Edward Neiman, kick it
yeah.
off for the people at home.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Honestly, probably a good thing that we kind of skipped over boxing for a while. We were kind of had a little bit of a dry spell, not a lot of fights going on. As always, holiday season, coming out of the holiday season, not too busy, fighters not in camp or anything like that. So finally, we're getting some big fights on the schedule starting this weekend. Jaron Boots Ennis fighting Stantionis for the Unified IBF Welterweight Championship, and then also the WBA Welterweight Championship. Jaron Boots Ennis, one of the best rising welterweights in the world. That one is on DAZN, Atlantic City. So, big fight there. One of the bigger fights that we have on the spring slate. Definitely excited for that one. But also some more like mainstream cards on the way as well later this month in London. We have Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn finally getting that fight going. That's a fight that's been generations in the making. Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, both their fathers have a past history fighting each other, so that's kind of reigniting a long family feud that's been going on between those two guys. But then the month of May brings a pretty good weekend right off the rip. Ryan Garcia back in the ring. He's facing Rolly Romero. Devin Haney is fighting Jose Ramirez, and then Teofimo Lopez is fighting Arnold Barboza, all on the same card. That one's taking place in Times Square in New York, so the first of its kind, an event just right in the middle of Times Square in New York City for everyone to kind of take in. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing like in terms of like seating and stuff for that, but definitely something new that they're trying out. And then that same weekend, Canelo Alvarez fighting in Saudi Arabia, Cinco de Mayo weekend, a tradition for Canelo Alvarez. Undisputed super middleweight titles on the line. He's taking on William Skull. And then to round out that weekend in like this next set of about 5 weeks in boxing, Naoya Inoue is who's one of the pound for pound best in the world. Finally coming over here to the United States to fight for the first time in a couple years. He's fighting Roman Cardenas at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. So, I know a lot of my non-boxing enthusiasts that might sound like a whole lot of nothing, but to the boxing connoisseur like myself, a fantastic 5 week stretch of boxing that we have on tap. And I'm also interested to see how that Times Square boxing event goes as well.
Great stuff there, Edward. We love hearing about the boxing. I know a lot of people are actually like getting into it
Yeah.
because of you. Do you have your own show this year on the Blaze Radio
I
or
don't, I kind of missed out on the boat there just because I was doing my internship and, when all that information was supposed to be turned in, I was just, of course, in my own world and doing my own things. So I missed out on that. But next semester in the fall, hopefully we'll pick that back up. Um, and yeah, like me and my dad have actually talked about it a while. Like I'm trying to get out to Vegas to see a fight. So I'm hoping maybe that happens this summer, and then I have a little bit of an experience to bring back firsthand in Sin City.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that. Edward Neiman in Vegas. He may
Yeah.
not make it back, ladies and
Uh,
gentlemen. Speaking of Vegas, let's talk about UFC. We're not gonna go too heavy in the calendar. We're just gonna talk about the main fight this weekend. UFC 314, Volkanovski versus Lopez. The return of Alexander the Great, my guy, the man from down under. He comes back after quite a long hiatus after getting knocked out quickly in his last fight. He returns against Diego Lopez, a great up and coming fighter. They will take on each other in Miami Saturday night for the featherweight title, which is vacant. So it's anybody's up for grabs. Um, Great fight here as we got like a seasoned vet now in Alexander the Great Volkanovski against Diego Lopez, a great up and comer. So honestly, can't complain about this main event. But the co-main is one of those co-mains that can steal the show also. We have Iron Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. Two guys that just throw hands, don't really wrestle a lot, but can wrestle if need be. Um, so yeah, co-main and main event for this weekend. Look to hammer some bets in that. Honestly, don't really know which way to go. As a favorite, I'm taking Volkanovski just because he's my guy. Can't really go, but honestly, I see him getting knocked out. Let's be if we're being honest here. He's just he's just getting older, and I think Diego Lopez is that guy. But we'll see. You never know. The veteran presence in the UFC can sometimes overcome the up and coming guys. And then so that's all we got for this weekend in UFC 314. And then we'll keep you guys up to date with the next pay-per-views and everything going on in the up and coming months. But definitely going to be tuning into this one over the weekend. Are you going to be tuning in, Edward, to this UFC card?
no, I'll probably be tuning into the boxing low key, but shout out to the UFC.
Cool.
I think I've watched like one UFC fight front to back, and that was with Joey freshman year. I forget who it was, but it ended up being a good fight.
That was like one of the greatest comebacks.
Yeah,
It was Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman,
yeah,
and it was when Leon was like down 4 rounds, and then that fifth round, in the beginning of the fifth round, the coach came up to him and was like, "Come on, Leon, like this is what you fucking trained for." And then he hits him with that like a straight left leg kick to the head and knocks him out in the fifth round to come back and take the belt.
yeah,
So
yeah. That was my only experience
yeah,
with UFC, and like shockingly, given how great that fight was, I still haven't tuned into one yet.
yeah, it's all good. We all mess up once in a while. It's all good. But that's all we got for the Fighters Corner this week. Again, another segment we're gonna bring back um periodically. I don't know if we'll do it every week, just based on like what events are coming up, but Edward's got his boxing schedule all lined up, so might have to keep you guys updated with that
Yeah,
weekly. Um, let's talk about the Masters now. Let's talk about what we're really here for.
yeah.
Let's talk about how Bryson DeChambeau is gonna win the Masters, and Edward's not gonna watch another PGA event ever. So we got Scheffler, Scotty Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. Can we agree on that?
I would say so. Yeah.
All right. Scotty Scheffler, the favorite to win the Masters, followed by Rory McIlroy and Colin Morikawa. Thoughts on that, Edward? As those are the top three heading into the weekend.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I would expect. Scheffler, he was coming off, I believe it was a wrist surgery, so he's kind of had a slower start to the year. But obviously, after last year, what we saw from him, essentially he can just win, tournaments in bunches. I think definitely deserving favorite. Roy McIlroy, obviously, a seasoned veteran in the game, a guy who performs, at really the highest level when he's at his best. Hasn't been at his best in previous years, but a good start to this year. And then Colin Morikawa, I do like that pick, just because, Augusta lends itself to good iron play, and you kind of have to be good in the short game, and Morikawa is. So I think kind of an expected 1, 2, 3 there in the odds.
Okay, okay. Followed by Morikawa is John Rahm. at the 4 spot, then Bryson DeChambeau, followed by Ludwig and Alexander Schauffele. So again, to me, when I saw this, I was like kind of surprised. Scheffler was the I was surprised and not surprised. Let's put it that way because I haven't really heard a lot from Scotty this year, based off like his injury and everything. But again, he's the best golfer in the world. It makes sense to have him at least top three in the betting favorites.
Yeah.
Um, you want to talk about how Bryson DeChambeau is in the top five in this in the betting odds after coming off just live golf and not being in the tournament at all.
Yeah, to be honest with you, that it kind of surprised me, and I'm this is not a shot at DeChambeau. It legitimately did surprise me a little bit. Although like when you think about it, DeChambeau looked really good in the U.S. Open last year. I thought like in that particular tournament, his putting is what shocked me. Right, we know he can drive the ball and whatnot, but I think he's definitely a top five betting favorite if he can putt. But I think it all boils on a short game for him. But yeah, I honestly don't see him making it to the weekend. So
Mhm. All right. Let's get into underdogs. What underdogs do we like? I let's not say to win it. Let's just say make it deep in the Masters in the Masters weekend. Edward, do you have anybody in mind for that pick?
yeah, I'm gonna take two guys. I'm gonna say here. First off, I think I think all of the guys that are in the top three that we just talked about, the odds top five, I think in all seriousness, those guys will be hanging around. Um, but I want to take a little bit of a sleeper here. First off, Jordan Spieth, a guy who 10 years ago now, 2015, had a little bit of a disaster down the stretch at the Masters. Looked like he had it in his back pocket. He's been kind of ever shaky since that tournament. But now a decade later, I think he's been playing some decent golf as of late. And I wouldn't be surprised that he makes a deep run, maybe a top 10, top five finish. I don't want to say that's really a big sleeper pick, just given that Jordan Spieth is a household name. But I think making a deep run in the Masters and maybe a top five finish might be a little bit of a sleeper pick. I think let's see, to finish top five, he's plus 625. So those are odds on that. Um, Another sleeper pick too, Min Woo Lee. He's coming off a win at, I believe it was the Houston Open. Kind of been an up and coming guy the past couple of years, and maybe just rides that wave of momentum and gets a green jacket. But yeah, those would be my two sleeper picks. I mean, I think Masters Week anyone can really make a run at it, but I tend to probably lean towards like the seasoned veterans, the guys who have played at Augusta for a handful of years prior, because that course, every year can be sneaky sometimes.
Surprised you didn't go with Thigala on that.
That's that's
I
who
thought you were right in your guy with that.
that's who I want to win it, but he has not played well as of late. So. The hot hand theory there.
Okay. Okay.
How about you though?
Man, I don't know. I'm looking at this. It's not really a sleeper. You kind of know who I'm going with here.
Go.
A guy just outside the top five in Ludwig Oberg. Um, Not really a sleeper pick. Just outside the top five. He's sitting behind DeChambeau at six. Um, but I mean, I don't know. A guy that I could see winning it. I wouldn't bet on him top 10. I think that's a guaranteed. I would kind of take him to win it. Again, like you talk about the upcoming guys. I mean, no one up and coming has made more of a name than him, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Maybe a
I
slight
believe
little disrespected too, like outside of the top five in betting odds is a little surprising to me at least.
I thought he would come in at two, respectfully,
Yeah.
behind Scotty. Like when I was talking to one of my boys about the betting odds, and like he said Scotty was like, oh, Oberg's up there, and then he said no, he's outside top five. So he bet on him just because it's a little bit plus money for him.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. What he won Pebble Beach this year, I believe, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oberg?
The AT&T Pro Am, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So proves he can play on tough courses. So again, a guy that doesn't really get phased a lot. I really haven't seen him get phased. I've been watching him in the TGL. That doesn't really correlate to this at all. Take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I'd go Ludwig Oberg to a
Oh.
name to watch in this in first time champions for the Masters.
Yeah.
Um But then we kind of already talked about who we'd like to see. You're going with Thigala as your guy, or do you have anybody else in mind?
I'm gonna go with Thigala. I believe he still has just the one tour win, the Rocket Mortgage Classic, in Detroit. I'd like to see him win, but like going back to Jordan Spieth too, like I think that would be a good story. Decade later, wins it again, and kind of gets the dry spell out of his system and finally gets another major. I think it's wild just the run that Spieth was on. In 2015 he wins it, then has kind of a debacle and everything went downhill. So I would like to see him, but I think Theegala is a guy I've been waiting to win a major or at least make a top five finish at a major that hasn't yet. And given the way that he started this year, I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go two guys as well. Obviously, DeChambeau for me. He just came off a video with Matthew Stafford, Super Bowl champion for the Los Angeles Rams. So gotta give respect where respect's due. Greatness shows likeness to greatness, and that's what we saw in that YouTube video. Go check it out. And his Breaking 50 episode. But I'm gonna go with him, and then another guy I like to see is Wyndham Clark, a guy that's kind of far down in the rankings right now, behind Jason Day. Another guy I kind of like to see win. But I like Wyndham Clark, another guy that can really like drive the ball. It just relies on his short game and everything. But I really kind of liked him. I didn't know too much about him until watching the TGL. He's one of those kind of like down to earth type of golfers.
You know,
So definitely, I'd like to see him or Bryson. But yeah, we get how you feel about the live golfer situation over there. Edward
yeah,
Neiman.
I um, it's partially just because I haven't watched Live Golf too, so that's maybe a little unfair to the Live Tour, but no, I was gonna also like one last point too is I'm probably collectively rooting for the guys who played on TGL too. We touched on it after TGL season, just how we were able to kind of see the guy's personality, something you don't see on tour. Kind of changed my perspective on some of these guys like Wyndham Clark. Like, who would have known that he's, kind of such a cool guy? So I'm rooting for those guys, to be honest. No Tiger, obviously, you know, sucks a little bit out of Masters weekend, but we move. It's going to be a great weekend. I think they have good weather. I know they had rain there the other day for the practice round, but I think it's gonna be good weather. So hopefully it's a good weekend. I always like to see competitive. I hate when it's a runaway. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Weather
all I
stuff.
want is a competitive weekend.
Yeah.
You don't want to see a guy sitting at two above everybody else the whole weekend and
Right.
really no one coming close to him.
Right.
But yeah, it's exciting. Probably gonna put what you got any prize picks going or anything for that?
No, no, no. Golf's tough. Golf's tough for I think from someone who doesn't bet, I'm gonna advise you how to bet. But I feel like the way to go on golf is you got to bet the top tens, top five finishes, maybe a little better lines, and you're not relying on a guy to win the whole tournament outright because, like, I feel like betting on golf, it can end as quickly as it starts, right? Your guy doesn't make the weekend, and it's chalked, it's over.
Yeah. Uh, before we go to MLB, and you said no Tiger. I just saw Phil Mickelson is in this tournament, another
Yeah,
live golfer. So
yeah. Hey, I wouldn't put it past Phil. He was, I think, the oldest guy to win a major back when he won the PGA Championship. Wouldn't put it past him. Won't expect it though.
all right. All right, all right. Let's move on to the Major League Baseball situations we got here. Um, we're gonna kick off with some new City Connect threads as we just got announced today. The new San Francisco Giants City Connect threads. We should probably put a picture of it up on
Okay,
the
yeah.
on the screen
We'll throw a
when
picture
we
up.
get yeah. Me personally, I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all. I think this is a waste of time. Um, I think the other ones were better, and the only reason I'm saying that is because it had like the bridge on the hats and the fog, which is like what represents San Francisco the most as a person, as a native that captured the city. It was just a little too white, too bland for me. I don't really know what they're doing with this one here. I mean, they say it's for like the musical aspect of San Francisco. Haven't heard anybody talk about that living there. So, um, I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? Do you have are you pulling it up right now?
Yeah, I got him up here. Like I said, I obviously I can't have the same input as you do. Um, and that's the whole thing. Like with the City Connect jerseys, obviously they're supposed to be connected to like some sort of aspect of the city. I'm not a huge fan of them either. I don't hate them. They're kind of meh to me. They're meh. I don't really mind. I don't really mind them. But yeah, um, in general, like some of this more experimental stuff, like the graffiti or whatever the type of the font is, I'm not a huge fan of. Um, I don't know. The hat's not too bad. The hat's not too bad. But yeah, I think I prefer the old ones as well.
Yeah. I see they're giving it an F grade.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
wow.
that's harsh. That's harsh.
And it just sucks because you could do so much with the city of San Francisco and their
Right,
colors are like perfect.
right.
Black, orange, and white. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Mm,
like I don't know if I would give them an F, but I'd probably give them probably a D, D plus maybe for me.
cool. Yeah. Like there's a difference. Okay.
Right.
Next ones we got are the Washington Nationals. Pretty solid. I'm gonna go back to the originals. I like the originals more because it's a cherry blossom, and that's what Washington, D.C. is known for, is to have cherry blossoms near the Capitol building and everything. Um, this new design pays homage to their place in the fabric of Washington, D.C. with multiple nods to the city. The new stylized W that surrounds the outline of the Capitol dome is on the cap and the jersey patch. Um, a popular element of the First City Connect cherry blossoms flank both sides of the W. The city's grid in the tones of the American denim is featured on the jerseys. Thoughts on this, Edward?
Yeah, definitely. I preferred the old Cherry Blossom ones. I thought those were honestly some of the better City Connects out of the bunch back in the day. One thing I'll say about these, I do like the helmet and the hat. I do like that W with I think those are two stars on the side of it, I want to say. I do like that. I also don't mind they kept a little bit of the hint of the cherry blossoms with a little pink on the trim of the sleeve, so I like that. Not a huge fan of that DC though on the chest, how it interlocks like that. That's one thing that it kind of bugs me. Um, the outline of the city that's not horrible. That's not horrible, but definitely like underwhelming given what they provided us with the first gray cherry blossom ones.
Yeah. Again, I think they'll probably redo theirs again for
Yeah,
the third one. Hopefully they have some like American flag aspect, being the
yeah,
nation's capital.
yeah.
But
Another city with a ton of possibilities.
yeah. I mean, what are we doing here? They're trying to think outside the box too much, I feel like, for these. It's
Right,
just like if you keep it a little more basic and I don't know, keep it within the city and like what people know about the city. Instead of having to do research like this and look at what it means, I just
right,
want to see it and be like, oh, that's like the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, that's
right.
the Capitol building on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. Edward, you gotta get in there and let the people
I
know.
think I do. I designed some pretty mean jerseys. I'll have to
Yeah,
bring them up one day.
yeah. And then lastly, we got the Houston Astros. Pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. Their original ones were good. I would say honestly, they haven't missed, and that's just keeping it a buck. Um, it just the other one had Space City, I believe, was on the front of it. This one pays tribute to obviously the space travel, obviously with them being in Houston. The descriptions has the trim and the pinstriping for the uniform is a nod to the history of the moon landing with a lunar pattern. The jersey's wordmark is an expression of the quote sleek and futuristic design to further add to the main theme. Thoughts on that, Edward?
Not gonna lie, these are my favorite ones, and I hate to say it because it's the Astros. I do like these better than the Space City ones. Me personally, I like
Wow.
these a lot better. Houston, kind of what we were saying with the Nationals, right? They just go with the more obvious pick, right? They stay with their primary colors on this. I think the font in the front and on the hat is kind of like a cool retro, spacey type of thing, and I really mess with like the sleeves. They got blue and orange on them. I think overall a pretty solid uniform. One thing that's just a personal gripe that I have with baseball jerseys is the number on the front. For whatever reason, the number on the front for this jersey just looks like abnormally big. I don't know if it's because
Yeah.
who's modeling it, but yeah, a little too big on that. But other than that, I like it. I think it's a solid uniform. Probably the best out of the three here.
Yeah, no, you took my thoughts exactly. I thought the guy modeling it was kind of doing it injustice to the jersey. But I do like it. I like the Stros. I like that
Yeah.
as the main slogan there. I would say I like the other ones better, Space City, just because their hats were I like the hats a little bit better. And Space City with the navy blue and the navy blue pants were a pretty clean combo. But um, other than that, I think the only ones that are coming up are those the only ones for this year?
I think these are the only ones that are on the tracker right now. So, let's see. It says Stros, Nationals, San Francisco Giants, and also the Rockies are going to be getting another set. Those are going to be debuted on the 18th, so in 10 days. Chicago White Sox on May 2nd, Marlins May 3rd, D-backs May 9th, and Red Sox May 16th. Athletics and Yankees remain the only two teams without City Connect jerseys.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Okay. Yeah. Kind of sucks because the White Sox and Marlins have pretty solid ones, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the White Sox, a lot of people are going to be irked about that when they do away with the South side. But yeah, I mean, it's a good moneymaker for the MLB, so they're gonna continue to roll these out.
Yeah. Yes, sir. All right, let's get into some actual MLB news. Let's talk about some guys on hot starts.
Yeah.
Um, Edward, you want to kick this off with one of your main guy on the Chicago Cubs? Do you want to start the glazing now, or do you want me to?
No, honestly, we should just start it now because it might take the rest of the episode. Yeah, King Tuck,
Okay.
Kyle Tucker for the Chicago Cubs, off to a fantastic start. First 11 games back after that Tokyo trip, batting 364. He's got five homers already, three steals, 15 RBIs. Cubs are 8-3 since the two losses in Japan. Latest win coming last night, 7-0 against the Rangers. Rangers are off to a good start too, so it was a quality win. And I think exactly the type of the season that Kyle Tucker wanted, just in terms of he'll have a potential extension on the other side of this season should the Cubs choose to exercise that. But I think the more likely option is that if Kyle Tucker continues to put up numbers like this, he will test free agency and most likely be signed to one of two teams, the New York Yankees or the Los Angeles Dodgers, seeing how things have gone. But yeah, I think definitely, I don't want to say it was unexpected. Um, Contract year for guys always typically, if they're about it, they'll put up big numbers, and that's what he's doing right now, and it has really helped the Cubs get off to a good start this year.
Yeah, a guy that I thought would kind of get off to a slower start than this, just based off being in a new ballpark and the pressure it has playing at Wrigley and carrying that Cubs name. But he's thrived, like we saw Cody Bellinger do a couple years ago. So I know you guys are trying to replicate that, although you have no bullpen arms. We'll keep bringing that up
Right.
as the season goes on. We'll move on to a guy out here in the Valley, Corbin Carroll has been tearing the ball up as of recently. Um, just honestly doing justice to what the Diamondbacks are, building out here in the Valley. Um, he's going off the metrics it says, going along with 8 extra base hits so far, including 3 home runs and a 628 slugging percentage. Um, the crazy thing is he hasn't attempted a steal yet this year, and he's one of the fastest players in the league. So, I mean, once he gets off and going with that, I mean, the what are your thoughts on the D-backs so far as a team? With Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen. I know you saw them play your Cubs out here recently.
Yep.
But I mean, this lineup proves it can have some deep games. It's just the bullpen kind of worries me a little bit, but they have Justin Martinez, AJ Puck to hold that down right now. Um, Quick thoughts on the D-backs right now?
Yeah, I think just a team that, I'm interested to see this in the long run of the season. They've played well in spurts since that run to the World Series. I think, if they can put it together, they'll be in the running. But once again, like what we mentioned in previous episodes, I think their biggest issue is the fact that the division that they play in, Ketel Marte, I believe he was just put on the IL, so injury bug already kind of starting to hit them. But a team that I want to see play good baseball. It was fun when they made a deep run.
Yeah, agreed. I'm not sure if I want to see him make a deep run, just because, especially in that downtown area, you have people coming out the woodwork wearing D-back stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Everybody does.
So, um, we'll see what happens there. Another guy I'm really high on, love to watch him play, Jackson Merrill, a guy I talked about in the beginning of the season if he's gonna have a sophomore slump. Um, Definitely not so far. He's picking up right where he left off. He's batting 378 with a 415 on base and a 676 slugging percentage, with 10 RBIs. And he just signed a 9-year contract extension with the
Yeah,
Padres. So definitely trying to lock him up for good. They do that. And, after he got the extension, his first 4 games, he had 3 multi-hit games and a pair of home runs. So, and he's about to turn 22 this month, which is insane.
yeah,
So, um, definitely a guy that's being compared to Freddie Freeman, the next Freddie Freeman, a guy that hits for contact, hits for average, definitely gets you the runs and RBIs and then be on base for you. So, definitely a key spy in that lineup for the Padres. Um, let's move down a little bit. Uh, let's talk about Willer Abreu. You got that, Edward?
let me see. Yeah, all right, go ahead. Sorry, I just had to really go down the list there.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, so Abreu coming off an impressive 2024 where he was obviously a rookie, so coming into his second year, won a Gold Glove. Um, Good numbers last year, 781 OPS, 15 home runs. Good start this year, though. I would say whatever is beyond a good start, hitting 4-2-4, three doubles, three homers. So obviously not going to continue that rate, but a good right fielder for the Red Sox right now. Another team that we talked about in the AL East who needs to pick up wins when they can. Early season games, late season games doesn't really matter in that division. Every game is important, but a good young prospect, and that's kind of the name of the game right now for the Red Sox is just some of their younger guys rounding the corner maybe a little earlier than expected, and giving them some really good run support here early.
Yeah, and I talked about it last week or a couple weeks ago. Christian Campbell, Boston's -- 2 prospect and the #6 overall prospect in the MLB pipeline. Pairing him with the start Brady had, I mean, they're tearing the ball up right now, and we saw that happen Sunday Night Baseball. I believe they took on the
Yep.
Cardinals.
Yep.
And we saw finally Alex Bregman get into it. He's been hot. And then we saw the return of Rafael Devers again, a guy that we said don't worry about the slump. He's going to get back into it. They show up on Sunday Night Baseball. And again, if that team just plays to their potential, I mean, I don't see them having a problem beating the Yankees,
Yeah.
respectfully.
Yeah.
So, um, what you got something to say about that?
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. And then lastly, we'll cover on an athletic. Listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Edward. I'm high on this team. I
I
really
know.
am.
I know. The Sacramento
I don't
Athletics.
know. I have no clue why I'm so sucking these guys off. Pause. Let's cut
Even after
that
the
from the
Cubs put
edit.
an 18 spot on them that one weekend?
I don't care, bro. It's a
Okay.
long season.
Okay.
Listen, this lineup, solid. If their starting pitchers can pitch how they supposed to be, listen, it's all money ball, bro. You
Right.
gotta think. You gotta think like Billy Bean. You gotta think like Brad Pitt. All right,
Okay.
adapt or die. And
You
this is
see,
they're adapting.
that's the space I'm not in. I have to move myself to that space, and I'll be right with you.
All right, all right. So we're gonna talk about Tyler Soderstrom, and you're like, who the fuck is that? He sounds like an A already. That's what I'm gonna say. Tyler Soderstrom, the first base for the Athletics, is the best hitter in the game right now. Um, he's basically Willer Abreu, like we just said, is probably the second best, and then it's Soderstrom. Um, Soderstrom comes out the gate swinging for the fence in 2025. He's just a multi-homer guy. He has two multi-homer efforts on the young season. He's tied for Judge and the MLB lead in that department. So let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Only two players have a higher OPS um, than Soderstrom, and that's Jose Ramirez and Wilder Abreu. Let's just put it that way. Um, all that's all that really needs to be said. The A's are going to make the playoffs, and and then we're going to have a playoff game in Sacramento in a minor league stadium.
Honestly, I would love that. I want the Athletics to play so good this year that they have to force their hand to just stay in Sacramento in order to stay good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they are there for the next 3 years.
So
So,
that's what I'm hoping. I hope they build a dynasty out of that place.
I mean, it may happen. And then what are we going to do there?
No idea.
So,
I love
um,
Sacramento. Great place. Beautiful place.
yeah. But anyways, I'm high on them. They got top five closer in the league, um, in Mason Miller. They got Luis Severino, Jeffrey Springs. So, I mean, this team can roll, bro. I know people are like, bro, it's the fucking A's or ass. Listen, man, you just gotta lock in and believe, and that's all we're gonna do. Um, so yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
No, I just, a lot of easy wins in that division, particularly coming against the Angels. So when you play in a division where you can just bank up wins against the Angels, you're feeling great.
All right, bro. Let's move on to what's our next segment, bro? I'm not locked in right now.
The Phillies are the ones to break the Dodgers undefeated start to the year, and the Padres are also now no longer undefeated thanks to the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, I know last week we kind of fucked up. We didn't mention the Padres that were undefeated, but now no one is, and the Phillies won that series against the Dodgers in Philly. So, and I believe you guys won the series against the Padres.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, just
Nobody's
some
going
little tidbits
162 and
there.
0 this year. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but yeah.
All right. Now, with that being said, let's hop on the hoops bus, and then we will end it with our top five draft. I know Edward is looking forward to that uh expeditiously. So,
Yeah,
Edward, if you want to take us on the hoops bus real quick.
yeah, jump on the hoops bus. Real quick, just the housekeeping. Shout out to the Florida Gators winning the national championship in the college basketball world. I'm so happy we get to put that behind us finally, though, because like I said last week, just horrible basketball in the month of March. Like that was egregious, really. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, shout out to the Florida Gators. Their third national championship in school history. So. Cool story there. Anyway, the biggest story, I know I kind of have this in our script, I have this out of order, but I want to start with the Denver Nuggets. Biggest news out of the NBA or today, and probably this week, this month. Nuggets fire head coach Mike Malone after 10 years with the team. For those of you wondering, Nuggets 15 games over 500, fourth place in the West. The whole Western Conference is legitimately separated by about a game. So that fourth place could have been improved pretty much as far as third place in the Western Conference. But Nuggets part ways with Mike Malone after being the winningest coach in franchise history. Um, did some research here. This is tied for the latest firing in NBA history. We're less than a week away from the NBA playoffs, and a playoffs in which the Nuggets will avoid the play-in, but now will be without their head coach. David Edelman will be taking over. He was their lead assistant. He's taking over for the rest of the season. Nuggets 3-10 in their or 3-7 in their last 10. Have been missing Jamal Murray for the last 5 games, but Joy, I think one of the hirings that is, coming off of the Memphis Grizzlies firing their coach. I thought that was shocking. I think this one really topped it, just being a couple years after Mike Malone got Denver a championship.
Yeah, we harped on it a lot last week, saying how it's not the right time to do this stuff. I mean, you're about to go in the playoffs and you have your head coach or GM. I just don't see how you can really expect a team to go far with that in the back of their heads. Um, we saw that with the Bucks a couple years ago, firing their coach, getting Doc Rivers. At least that was in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
But again, this is it. I don't know. That's all. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I don't really want to harp on that too much, but
Yeah, I mean, I think Mike Malone was probably considered one of the better coaches in the NBA. Also, on that note as well, they announced that they will not extend their general manager, Kelvin Booth. So, a little bit of cleaning house. The rumblings right now and the fallout of all of this information is, will Jokic stay a Denver Nugget for the long run, or will he possibly be on the move? And obviously, that changes a lot. But yeah, kind of what you said, Joey. This is not the time you fire a head coach, and unless this was an absolute, you know, um, locker room thing going on, or it was just like a disaster brewing inside the team and it needed to be done immediately. I don't see the reasoning behind it. But we'll see. The Nuggets, to me, were still a threat in the playoffs. As long as you have Jokic and Jamal Murray, I think you can be a threat. And for me, as a Lakers fan, a team that I was not fond of playing, just given our past history with them, but nonetheless, the Nuggets part ways. So that's that. We don't really know what to make about that. Another just quick hit here. Lakers beat the Thunder on Sunday, 126 to 99. They tied the franchise record for most three-pointers made in a half, 15 in the first half of that one. Um, all hands on deck effort there. Luka Doncic, I believe, ended the night with 30. Austin Reeves was the second highest scorer for them, followed by LeBron. They rematch with OKC tonight. Lakers looked like it was possibly they were going to rest some guys, but everyone seems to be all systems go. So Shannon Sharp, of course, had his field day. I think it was child support, divorce court, Lou Dort, Lakers in five this past Monday. So
yeah. Shout out Shannon Sharp for those. I mean, honestly, that's the best part of First Take is when he gets those going. No other reason to watch that show, but yeah. I don't know. What you had a comparison to the Lakers earlier. Do you want to harp on that
well,
or
yeah, it's actually something Shannon Sharp brought up. Give us the '96 Bulls at this point.
okay.
Because 126 to 99 dismantling over a team that I was hearing was supposed to be the boogeyman in the Western Conference. 64 and 14 overall record. They have had that one seed essentially locked up for the last few months. Lakers come in there and blow the doors off. By the way, inside the Paycom Center in OKC, which is notorious for being a tough place to win games. But like I said, they'll rerun it tonight, 5 o'clock in the next hour. So we'll see if it was really a fluke or not. But nonetheless, Lakers right now, if we take a look at the playoff picture, if the playoffs were to start today, Lakers have a first round matchup with the Warriors, which is going to be an interesting series.
Yeah, I'm taking Warriors in five on that,
Okay.
respectfully.
Okay, for sure. So anyway, whatever. But but yeah, Joy, just looking at the playoff picture now. Um,
Yeah.
Nuggets are slated to take on the Clippers. Clippers have been making a good surge as of late, 14 games over the 500 mark, 46 and 32. Lakers and Warriors would be slated your top seeds in the Western Conference, the Thunder and Rockets. Lakers still 3 games back of the Rockets, so the Rockets are in a comfortable position with the 2 seed. Your play-in would be the Kings and Mavericks with the 9 and 10, so the winner of that would have to win 2 games to play the Thunder, and then the Timberwolves and Grizzlies. Um, I don't know, Joey. Just I guess your favorites in the West maybe is we're about a week out from the playoffs.
Um, I don't know. I've been hearing a lot saying that the Lakers are not the team to fear in LA. I've been hearing that you don't want to see the Clippers in the postseason. And I'm not saying that just to fuck with you. I'm actually like hearing that. And the way that they've been playing these last 4 or 5 games with Kawhi and Harden, I
Yeah.
mean, it may be that way. They just got that new stadium. That new stadium might be rolling. The wall out there might be rolling. You may not want to play them in LA. I don't even know what their stadium's called. All I know is that they got a wall behind the hoop, and yeah, that place is gonna be bumping.
Yeah.
Um, I think the Rockets are a sneaky team. I think they're a very overlooked team. Um, but they're a two spot for a reason. They may not be the Celtics at the two spot, but I think they're a team that can run with it. I also think, not to sound like a homer, but I think the Timberwolves can also roll in it.
Yeah.
Just just based on the fact that they have Anthony Edwards. And that's it.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm taking the Lakers out of the Western Conference, and I'm not even saying that in a joking manner. I honestly think what we're seeing brewing in LA is something that is pretty incredible. Obviously
All right.
LeBron James and Luka Doncic, but I think the emergence of Austin Reeves has been really spectacular, marvelous to watch. Um,
What
Undrafted
the?
guy has come in and really made it easy for a 40-year-old LeBron James. I mean, LeBron James can be the third best player like he was on Sunday against OKC, and the Lakers can still roll to win. So I'm excited to see how that goes in the playoffs. Lakers square off, as we mentioned, with the Thunder tonight, which will be yesterday if this is posted on a Wednesday. And then the Lakers tonight, if we're speaking in the future on Wednesday, we'll be taking on the Dallas Mavericks for the first time in Dallas since the Luka Doncic trade. Real quick, over to the Eastern Conference. Cavs, obviously, with the one seed, best record in the NBA, 62 and 16 right now. They will be slated to face the winner of a playing grouping that right now includes the Bulls and the Heat facing off in the 9 and 10, the Magic and Hawks in the uh, in the 7 and 8 games, and then right now the series would be the Pacers, Bucks, Knicks, and Pistons, and obviously the Cavs and Celtics taking on the play-in winners. But for me, Eastern Conference, a little hard to read this year, right? The Cavs, obviously, you want to say are the favorite, but I don't think you can dismiss the Celtics being the two seed. I think they're still the team to beat. I think the road to the finals runs through Boston, but then also the Knicks and Pacers. They put on a good series last year, and if they meet again, I think that could bring another interesting series to the Eastern Conference in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I'm looking at both sides of this, the East and West. I'm so much more afraid of the West when the 9, 10, 7, and 8 than
Yeah.
I am of the East. And I don't know, maybe that's just because I don't know. I'm not scared of the Bulls or the Heat this year if they make the play in. I'm not scared of the Magic or the Hawks either. Um Teams I like the Pistons also. I think they're like the Rockets, a sneaky team, and then the Bucks. The only problem with the Bucks obviously is Dame, I think is still out.
Hmm.
But if they can somehow get him back, we saw that dynamic duo with him and Giannis. Giannis has been putting up absolute insane numbers this year. Um, I also like the Pacers too. I'm not gonna lie, they've been getting hot at the end of the season, and that's always a dangerous team to face against. So
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the Bucks too. Bucks were a team that we were talking about last week on the show. I think they were losers of their last four at that moment. They've turned it around. Winners of their last four, beat the 76ers, Pelicans, Heat, and Suns. So getting hot at the right time. And, if you can get Dame back, I think that team definitely an underrated team. But with all that being said, playoffs, I believe, start on April 19th. So we'll finish off the regular season on Sunday. We'll have a little bit of a break, and then towards the end of the following week, or the end of that week, we will have the playoffs start. So I'm excited for the playoffs this year. I think a lot of uncertainty. All the two number one seeds are young teams in the Thunder and Cavs. And then, of course, the fallout from the Luka trade in LA. Um, I think we'll provide a lot of good subplots in the NBA. NBA playoffs, one of my favorite times of the year. And given how trash March Madness was this year, maybe we'll get some good basketball in the spring and early summer.
yeah, hopefully. I mean, based off March Madness, we might just have to go all chalk with the betting odds
Right,
for the NBA playoffs.
right.
So
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind going that way. But of course, the Lakers are winning it all. Banner number 18 on the way into LA.
yeah, we'll see about that, bro. Um, honestly, I think the Lakers get bounced first round. They just don't have a big man, and they gotta play their perfect game to beat everybody without a big man. And I feel like that's gonna be their downfall. They go against OKC, bro. They're not like, come on, bro. Let's be real.
So that's crazy saying that after we just beat them by 27 points.
Listen, bro, they don't have to. They don't have to play their best game
Listen,
in this series. They don't have to play
Bronny
their best
James
game.
outplayed Steph Curry on Sunday. All right, they both ended the day with 3 points, and Bronny James played 5 minutes. So on Sunday alone, Bronny James already has outplayed Steph Curry. So if Steph Curry wants any chance in that series, he's going to have to really step
Listen,
up and do something.
I'm not talking about the Warriors. I'm talking about facing OKC.
Not concerned. Not concerned. Lakers
Yeah.
in five. Lakers in five.
All right. You got to get your own Lakers in five saying you can't be copying Shannon Sharp.
Next week, I'm going to debut it. Next week,
All
playoff
right.
time, I'm going to debut it. So don't, yeah, just hold on tight.
All right. I got you. I got you. All right. And let's end it with the segment we've been waiting for. Um, top five fast food spots in a draft format. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I love drafting. I mean, whether it's fantasy football, fantasy baseball, anything, drafts are always fun. And usually I'm the guy when it comes to draft. I know how to draft. Um, so let's go with round one. I think you should start off just based on the fact that, you were very flustered
Why
before
don't
this.
well, let's also real quick set the parameters for what we're considering fast food because I think a lot of people out
Yeah.
there you know, we're not considering Chipotle fast food.
What?
Five guys, aren't we saying we're saying drive-through, didn't we?
Chipotle has drive-throughs, bro.
Yeah, all right, okay.
I've seen it.
I've never seen that.
I've seen it.
Okay. Well, Joey's gonna play by his own rules.
What are you
A
talking about?
Chipotle drive-through is unbelievable.
You've never seen a Chipotle drive-through.
With that, I'm gonna take In-N-Out with my first pick.
Oh, I'm so glad you did that.
You're
That's
welcome.
perfect.
And also, by the way, to our viewers out there who don't know, I can eat at maybe like three places on the planet. So allergies have done this to me, but yeah, I'm taking In-N-Out. There's also a little bit of strategy to my picks because I kind of have to play my cards right here.
Wait, you gotta give a reason why though. Like you can't just say in and out.
Why In-N-Out?
Yeah. Why is that your first pick?
Well, I know Joey's gonna get on me for this one because he has like some wildly strong feelings about their fries, but I think their fries are gas. So yeah.
No, bro, I think that whole place is ass, and not just the fries.
That's a wild take. I feel like that's a
I
take from
mean,
someone. I feel like that's a take from someone who's lived in California for pretty much their whole life and just hates the tourists that rave about In-N-Out, and that's just the feelings that they have. But
listen, bro,
good burger,
it's a good burger for the price. I will
yes.
give it that.
And
The
I'm all
fries
about
are
bang for the
shit.
buck. Also, I feel like In-N-Out, it's always hot, it's always fresh. I've never really gotten like cold fries or a burger from In-N-Out, so you kind of know what to expect.
That's weird. I've actually gotten three undercooked burgers that were raw. So
I don't know what I want to know what In-N-Out that was. You should
it's in it was back home. It was
put
back
that
home in
location on
California.
blast right now.
I'm not going to, but we did have that happen.
Okay,
So that's why I could have given you in and out at the 10 at the on the 10th round, and we're
okay,
not even doing 10 rounds.
okay.
So my first pick is gonna be Raising Cane's. I mean, just you really can't beat that at all. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that puts up day in and day out performances and like just old reliable, like it's chicken tenders. You can't mess it up. This sauce is to die for. You can't mess up that sauce. Um, Texas toast. Are you joking? Are you kidding me right now with that Texas toast? Come on, bro. Are we like it's not even a competition, bro. Raising Cane's at the one spot. Give it to me.
Well,
He's gonna be running our two. He's prime Steph Curry, bro.
okay.
You know what I mean? He's Cooper Flag on Duke, except that last shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have to put something in there because that was yeah okay. All right,
Yeah,
fair enough, fair enough. I'll give you Raising Cane's. I've never had it. Hear about the hype. Um, so yeah, I'll
yeah.
give that to you.
Are we doing a snake format
We're let's do
or?
snake. Let's do snake.
All right, so
Like
I
this.
got
Like so,
back to
so
back
Joey's back
picks
up
here.
round two.
That's dangerous. Let me think here. Let me think here. All right, I'm not gonna do Chipotle. I didn't even really want to put Chipotle on there. Damn.
You can have it. I
I
just didn't know they had a drive-through. So
No, no, no. I low-key think I made that up. Anyways, trying to think. I feel like there's one that I'm like thinking of.
in the whole thing, I don't think we're gonna take any of the same ones because I just think we have different. You
Yeah,
know. So you could probably take
yeah. No, I
anything
feel
right
that.
now.
Feel that. I'm gonna go Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going Chick-fil-A, and again, another place that I would say I like Cane's better, but Chick-fil-A has more variety. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not just chicken tenders and a sandwich. They got sandwich, they got nuggies, they got tenders, they got salads, they got frozen frozen shakes, banana frozen shakes. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Who's doing it like them? Again, the sauce. Bro, I got the two sauces in the game right now. That's LeBron and D Wade with the sauce.
Yeah.
Okay? All
Cool.
right.
All right.
Who are you taking at
At my
the
two, like I said, I just don't think me and Joey are probably going to be like too competitive in terms of our picks. I'm going to take Portillo's at the two. Chicago staple down here in the Valley too. Go down to Tempe Marketplace. That place is one of my all-time faves growing up. So I don't know why this guy's looking at me like that, but yeah, Portillo's at the two. Chicago. Shout out, Chi.
Uh, yeah, it's all good. I've had that multiple times. I mean, I worked right next to it. Um, it's solid. I will give it that. It is a solid pick. Just kind of unreliable at times. Sometimes I eat that burger, I feel too full and I feel sick. But I like the variety it has with the burgers. You got
Yes.
chicken sandwiches, you got dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect it. I respect it. Where are you gonna put him on the floor? I think he's a good four. He's a good power forward.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he would be one of more of my bigs. So like probably the 4 or 5, but I think the four he'll play.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got Chick-fil-A at the one running point, and then I
Oh,
got In-N-Out at the two. Or I mean, I got Raising Cane's at the two.
okay.
So, all
All
right.
right. So yeah, I'm up here, round
Yeah,
three.
yeah.
My third round pick. Once again, going with the homer pick. Give me Culver's.
Okay. Hey, you know what? I respect that pick a lot.
Yeah.
That is a great pick. Let's clap it up for Edward Neiman.
Finally
That's a
got one. It
fuck.
only took me to round three.
That's a fucking great
But
pick.
yeah,
I'm not gonna
Culver's.
lie.
I love Culver's. I'm a big crinkle cut fry guy. Great fries. They're a good butter burger. Their fish
Yes.
sandwich is pretty good as well. So Midwest staple. I gotta have a
Yes.
lot of a lot of Culver's first semester when I was on the road with the hockey team. So that was our go-to. So I'm gonna take Culver's. Culver's for me would run like the one or two.
Okay. No, bro. You didn't even talk about the best part is the ice cream and the milkshakes. Can
See,
you
now that's
talk
the
about
one part
those,
I
please?
can't eat about Culver's. I can't even have their ice cream and shakes, and I still love Culver's.
Bro, you're missing out. Um, that is a great pick. Um, I've had Culver's multiple times here. No complaints whatsoever. Like you said, those butter burgers, insane. And then you just get a little shake on the side. You could basically customize your shake with whatever. Um, yeah, great pick, honestly. So, uh, with my third pick, I think I have to go with this. It's gonna be the Golden Arches. It's gonna be McDonald's. Um, again, another old reliable. Like you go there when you just feel like McDonald's, and they usually never mess up your order. Sometimes they do, but it's like you know what you want to get when you're there. You don't have to think about it, and I respect it. You get that quarter pounder, you get that Big Mac, you get the McNuggets, whatever you want, bro. And the collabs they're doing with these Happy Meals, it's an inspirational run. That's
Yeah,
prime KD right there.
that's a great pick. That was on my draft board, so I'm a little sad that you took that. Um, I think the best part about McDonald's for me personally is the breakfast. The breakfast is amazing there. Hash browns,
Yeah.
great. So. That's kind of the veteran pick, very mature pick, Joey. So I like that.
Yeah. It's just all reliable, you know. You cannot do any wrong with McDonald's.
Cool.
So,
Fair play, fair play.
um, fourth round. I think we got our guards and we got our three. We need some big man.
Yeah.
We need some big man bad. And I think I'm gonna save Arby's for you. I know you're gonna go with the Arby's pick. Um, I'm gonna
Those
go. Hmm, I'm thinking here. I'm trying to think what you would do. Were you gonna take McDonald's?
McDonald's is on my board. I didn't honestly. I was shocked that you took McDonald's in the round three. So I thought that was going to be a late round steal there. But
I'm gonna go Shake Shack. Shake Shack is basically the same thing as Culver's, but honestly, I'd say the burgers are better.
okay,
So again, what makes it good for me is when you have that other element of Shakes. He brings another element to the floor besides just, he's the five-tool player you want. He's not just the boring, oh, let me get this burger with fries and just a regular drink. No, bro, you have like another sh you have the dessert next to you.
yeah,
And you already have a good burger. You have good fries. Let's add the shake. Come on.
okay,
What are we talking about here?
yeah.
So I'm going that at the four.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, I'm very glad you brought that up. With my fourth pick, I'm gonna take Steak and Shake.
Okay, I've never had it, but please
So
indulge me on what that is.
quality place, good steak burger. Really, I think honestly, great shakes for those who can have them. I typically don't. Shoestring fries. Just a good, reliable burger. Just not many of them remaining in America, really. I think it actually started in Southern Illinois. They've been taking away our locations like very quickly. So enjoy them while they're here. But yeah, definitely one that I grew up on. So I think for the nostalgia purposes alone, I have to take Steak and Shake in the fourth round. So I think easy pick there for me. But obviously Joey wasn't going to take it because he just hasn't had it. So
Yeah. No, we did have one near me growing up, but it did have rats in it,
oh
so
yeah.
it got shut down.
Well, that was part of the thing, like too, with some Steak and Shakes. Like sometimes you had to go through the trenches to get your steak burger, but in the end,
Yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
worth it. So yeah, I'm gonna take that. And for my fifth round, honestly, I think to just speak to the general public and be the people's champ here, I'm gonna take Wendy's. I'm gonna take Wendy's at the five.
Mhm. To be honest, I'm not a fan of that pick.
Okay.
I hate to say it.
That's cool. That's cool. I can't wait. I know Joey's got Long John Silver's on deck for round number five, so I cannot wait. Right now, Joey is just trying to decide whether he's gonna take a Long John Silver's or White Castle.
All right. Listen, if you hate on Long John Silver's, I don't know what to tell you because during Lent season, that place is popping.
Are you serious right now? You like
No,
Long John Silver's?
fuck no.
Okay, I'm just making sure because that would have
I
been
got your
wild.
ass. No, we're not taking Long John Silver's.
We would have earned the title of the video right there easily.
Listen, I got three places in mind. Only three. Panda Express, Carl's Jr.,
That's crazy.
or what was the last one? Taco Bell. Listen, I don't know really which one to go here. We need a five spot. We need a big man. And, right now I think I'm dominating your team no matter what.
Okay, come on, bro.
But, oh man, trying to think. I'm trying to think what would Jesus do himself?
Right, right.
Would he go Carl's Jr., where they have underrated burgers, Panda Express, where you get a whole meal for the day, or
Once again,
Taco Bell? where you just ruin your insides.
Panda Express drive-throughs? Did not know that.
I think they do.
Oh.
Maybe not. Maybe I have to take Panda off.
I feel like I got hoodwinked by these rules because apparently Chipotle was on the board. Apparently
No, bro,
Panda
it's all
Express was.
good.
Okay, okay,
We didn't take them.
okay.
Um, I'm gonna go. So it's basically between Carl's and Taco Bell. Man, it's hard. See, if I take Taco Bell, I got like a Wemby or a Chet at the four.
Right,
But if I take Carl's, I got like Prime Shaq. That's what
right.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I definitely feel that too.
Yeah.
I know what I would take, but I'm not gonna help you out, you know.
I'm gonna go Carl's Jr. I'm gonna go Carl's Jr. Is that the one you would go with?
No, that actually just secured a four-game sweep for me. So
Okay.
appreciate that.
Well, I'm going I'm going Carl's based on the fact burgers are underrated. Probably one of the top burger spots. Again, it's Carl's Jr. or Hardee's. I think Hardee's is like the Midwest, the Mid East terms. Um, Other than that, I mean the burgers, they got good sides. They got like every side you want. You got crisp cut fries, you got regular fries, you get jalapeno poppers on the side. Um, Drinks are whatever. But the reason I set them above Taco Bell is based on the fact that they're old advertisements. If you know, you know. Um, they're old ads. We're just it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I am flabbergasted right now, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just say look it up. Just look up old Carl's Jr. ads, and then you'll see why.
Okay.
But other than that, I think I'm sweeping you
Okay.
respectfully.
I'm
Like
gonna give you a. I'm gonna gentleman sweep you. I'll let you have one game just so I can come back and win it on
I
home
think
court for you.
I'm winning in five,
Okay.
respectfully.
Okay.
What was your last pick?
Wendy's. Wendy's.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
that was
that's
not
fair.
that's a people's champ pick for me, you know. I gotta have like he's the type of guy who's just a fun guy on the team, you know, that everyone just likes. So
Listen, bro. You know what? I might take back my Carl's Jr. pick, and you know why?
why?
Because Taco Bell has that Baja Blast.
No, yeah, see that's you already made this selection.
Nah, bro.
The pick has already been in.
Oh
Adam Silver already
man.
announced the pick, man. The only reason I would have said Taco Bell is just the versatility. I feel like it's very cheap and it's a lot of different things on the menu.
But it tears up your insides.
That's just the price you gotta pay, you
I
know.
don't want that.
So
All right.
I like this draft stuff. We gotta keep doing this because this is. I
Yeah.
think what we're gonna do too is put a poll somewhere in the video or in the comments, and we'll see what the people think. But
Yeah. So I'll round out my team. At the one spot, we got Chick-fil-A running the point, running everything. Two, we got Raising Cane's. I mean, that dynamic duo is unbeatable. Then we got McDonald's at the three, Prime KD, all reliable. Then we got Shake Shack at the four and Carl's Jr. at the five. And then
uh,
six man is going to be Taco Bell.
well, yeah, I'm gonna run Culver's at the one. I'll take In and Out at the two. At the three, I'm gonna put Wendy's. Let me see. At the four, I'll put Portillo's, and then I think my five is gonna be Steak and Shake.
Yeah. See, my four and five dominate your four and five.
Okay. Well,
Who's your six man coming off the bench?
my six man coming off the bench. Oof, that's tough. You see, because my last pick was in between Wendy's and Taco Bell, so I
Uh,
don't wanna steal your thunder on that one,
and I'll go Jersey Mike's.
but yeah, if they had a drive-through, yeah.
Fair. All right. Well, yeah. Let us know in the comments who you think won that. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, but we'll leave it
Right,
up to the
for sure,
people.
for sure.
Um,
Remember, guys, this is the same guy saying the Warriors are gonna beat the Lakers, so like, let's just and
yeah,
I am the guy that had Clemson going to the Final Four, so pick your poison.
yeah, basically. Who do you rely on?
Right.
Why are we doing a sports show? We have no clue. But anyways, uh, that'll end the episode there. Thank y'all for tuning in to episode 8 of the P&N Podcast. Um, and we'll drop this Wednesday night, and we'll see you guys next week. for episode 9. Catch y'all then.